and different methods to trace with. I want to go over, I have 3 different methods. I have window tracing, where you pretty much just stick your original artwork on there, put your final piece over it, and then trace using sunlight. Second method, computer. You of course have your monitor open, and you take pretty much a blank document, and you put your original over it, and then you put your final picture over that, and then you trace over it. And then the last way is with the light box. My personal favorite, because the backlight is so strong that you can see all the details that you can't see with the other 2 ways. But of course, you got to start somewhere. I started with, of course, Windows and computer tracing. Light boxes are pretty expensive, and it is a pretty big investment. So let's get on to the demonstration. In this demonstration, I'm showing you how it looks against a window. Here you see I already have my picture taped on there, and I'm going to grab my second sheet of paper and I'm going to place it on there. When you do this, make sure that your bottom edges are lined up. That way when you trace it onto the new piece of paper, it's on there pretty straightly and it's not crooked or diagonal or anything. And I just use regular Scotch tape and place it on the window pretty lightly. That way it comes off easily and you don't have weird residue on your windows. Here I'm showing you where the image is gonna show through, but I noticed that you couldn't really see it on the camera. So then here I try to turn off the lights to see if you can see it better, and you can see the line work a little bit better. But since the with the window method, not a lot of light comes through, you can't really see it. And that's why I'm going to show you 2 different methods of how to trace paper so that you have more of that light shining through the back. Okay, for the second tracing demonstration, I'm going to be taking my original image and taping it to a blank document on the computer. And I'm going to have the tape all the way to the top of the monitor so it's not touching the screen. And for this part, I'm going to take my second piece of paper and I'm going to line it up, of course, to the bottom of my original paper, and very, 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 very softly gonna tap the tape just so it's on there. I don't want it stuck on there. I just want it to be able to sit there so that I can trace on top of it. And here I turn off the light so that you can see the image behind it. And here you can see the image a little bit better than the window one because you have the backlight shining through. Okay, so the last demonstration is going to be with my light pad slash light box. I again take a piece of tape and tape it down onto my light box. That way the paper doesn't move around when I trace on top of it. I'm gonna again line up the bottom to make sure that, and here I actually had my paper upside down, so this is me flipping the paper to the right side. We're gonna line up the bottom, make sure that everything is positioned where you want it, and then tape it down pretty lightly. And right about here I turn off the light, that way when I turn it on you can see that this gives you the best result with the backlight shining through. You can see everything. Okay, from here on out I'm gonna start tracing. There's just some last things that I wanted to tell you guys. When you're tracing, make sure that you use a pretty light pencil or a really light hand as you're tracing. I like to use a graphite 2H pencil. I find that it gives me really light lines and it doesn't put heavy indentations into the paper, because when I go back and I'm, coloring with color pencil, it's really hard to hide the graphite underneath, and I find that I get the best result if I just use a really light graphite pencil. The second thing I wanted to tell you guys was are when you're gonna trace something, make sure that you have your original and a final piece of paper secured and positioned where you want it, because when you're tracing, your hand is moving around the paper, and if you don't have it secured um pretty good on there, your paper will move with your hand and you'll end up picking up your original paper, and you're like, whoa, why doesn't my final picture look like my my original drawing that I drew? And it's because your hand was moving around, so sometimes it'll move the paper around and it'll put the image off a little bit in certain areas. So just make sure that you have your stuff all secured down when you're tracing. And here you can see me lifting up and down my paper. Make sure that before you take your image off of wherever you're tracing from, like a window, the computer, or a light box, that you make sure your image is done and you have all your lines down, because it is such a pain in the butt to take your image off and then realize, like, oh shoot, I missed a few lines here, and now you have to go back and try and realign your picture and get those lines that you missed. It's just a pain in the butt. Alright, and here you can see my final image. It is pretty light, but that's the look that I was going for. I keep a really light hand when I trace, but here you can see that it's gonna be an image with a minion riding a unicorn balloon. And in my next video you'll see me actually coloring this out, so it's gonna be lots of fun. Alright, thanks guys for watching my tracing video.